Hi guys. So guys, today we are going to shoot a video where I would be telling you that now which books you should be reading for RBI Grade B 2023 exam and which books you should not be reading for RBI Grade B 2023 exam. तो ये बुक्स मैं अभी घर से लेकर आ रहा हूँ. ड्यूरिंग कोविड आई टुक ऑल दीज बुक्स टू माई होम बिकॉज आई वॉज प्रिपेयरिंग ऑल द कंटेंट फ्रॉम देयर. तो बहुत भारी हैं, 2 सीढ़ियाँ चढ़ कर आया हूँ. आई होप वीडियो अच्छा बने और आप सब लोग उसको लाइक करें. वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कीजिएगा. सो द बिग क्वेश्चन, कौन सी बुक्स पढ़ें टू क्लियर आरबीआई ग्रेड बी? नाउ व्हेन यू स्टार्ट सर्चिंग फॉर बुक्स फॉर आरबीआई ग्रेड बी, the biggest problem is that there are too many names. Bharti Pathak, Prasanna Chandra, Ramesh Singh, Uma Kapila. There are a lot of books in the market and you will realize that you will not be able to read all of them. So sir, what is the good strategy? What are the good books that we can use to cover the syllabus? So I will decode the entire list for you right now. But before that, I want to tell you that see, there is no book in the market which is specifically for RBI Grade B. So yes, you would find some topics of the syllabus in these books, but then you have to be very selective. You have to filter the content and then only use those books. Do not try to read these books cover to cover. सबसे पहले मैनेजमेंट के लिए शुरू करते हैं. सो द फर्स्ट बुक आई एम टेलिंग यू फॉर मैनेजमेंट इज प्रिंसिपल्स एंड प्रैक्टिसेस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट बाय एल.एम. प्रसाद. सो दिस बुक विल हेल्प यू कवर बेसिकली द फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एंड मैनेजमेंट फंक्शंस सच एज प्लानिंग, स्टाफिंग, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग, डायरेक्टिंग एंड कंट्रोलिंग. वो सारा आपका इस किताब से हो जाएगा. The next book is again by L.M. Prasad on organizational behavior because there are topics related to organizational behavior also in your syllabus such as motivation, communication, leadership, personality, perception, conflict. वो सारे आपके यहाँ से हो सकते हैं. Apart from reading these books, one thing that I would suggest you is to learn some real life examples, case studies from Google because there is a descriptive component to it also. और descriptive component में you can get good marks only if you write some real life case studies and examples. Suppose you read conflict from this book, then you also need to read the real life example of conflict. Maybe if you already know conflict between Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani, conflict between Ratan Tata and Cyrus Mistry. So you need to understand these conflicts and need to understand from the context of the theory. Right, because you will have to write there in the context of the theory. You cannot simply write an example of a conflict like this. You have to explain that in the context of this theory. So वो आप करिए, वो आपको काफी फायदेमंद होगा. Apart from that, ethics and corporate governance is another set of topic in your management syllabus. For that, there is a book by B.N. Ghosh right on your screen right now. तो आप इसको यूज कीजिए. Not one of the best book, but I think it will solve the purpose for your RBI Grade B preparation. Now coming out of finance, finance में there is a lot of doubt in the mind of students because there are some really good books in the market such as Prasanna Chandra or Bharti Pathak, very big names in the finance industry, but these books are not relevant for RBI Grade B. The reason being Prasanna Chandra is basically numerical oriented and numericals are not being asked in the exam right now. तो उस बुक को बिल्कुल साइड में रख दीजिए. I have no intention to say that book is a bad book. Prasanna Chandra book is a very good book. I have personally read that book, but वो आपके एग्जाम के लिए relevant नहीं है. You just need to read those books where you get output in terms of marks. So Prasanna Chandra is not in your list or should not be in your list. Another book that you should avoid is Bharti Pathak. Again a very good book, but mainly oriented towards regulations. एंड बहुत डिटेल में है, डेप्थ में है. इट्स अ वेरी बल्की बुक, नॉट रिक्वायर्ड फॉर योर एग्जाम. ठीक है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, द रियल बुक्स दैट आई एम सजेस्टिंग यू टू रीड इन फाइनेंस, वन इज प्रिंसिपल्स एंड प्रैक्टिसेस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट बाय मैकमिलन एजुकेशन. It's a decent book in terms of now you can cover some topics of your syllabus such as primary and secondary markets, forex markets, capital markets. Then you can functions of RBI also you can cover from here. Bonds you can cover from here. Mutual funds you can cover from here. So pretty long list of topics can be covered from here, though they are given in a very shortened manner. So maybe you would have to look upon Google to amplify your knowledge once you have read these books. Another is Advanced Bank Management, again by Macmillan Education. This book can be used to read forex markets, or you can say risk management in more detail because those topics are covered in more depth here. तो ये 2 books आप use कीजिए. Apart from that, RBI की वेबसाइट पे देयर आर FAQs. Go through them. Those are good. That can help you cover some really good theory for your exam. Apart from this theory and all, there is a current component also in your syllabus. उसके लिए there is no book in the market, but I would suggest you two sources. One is RBI notifications on the RBI website. Go to the RBI website, go to the notifications tab, and there is complete list of notifications that you can go through. तो आप वहां से कर सकते हैं. Apart from that, you should be reading Live Mint. Live Mint is very important because all the news related to SEBI or Ministry of Finance would not be available on the RBI website. For that, you need to read Live Mint. तो फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स जरूर पढ़िएगा, सिर्फ बुक्स पे रिलाई मत कीजिएगा, और जो मैंने आपको सोर्सेज बताए हैं RBI वेबसाइट और Live Mint, उनको फॉलो कीजिएगा. नाउ कमिंग टू इकोनॉमिक्स. नाउ जो आपका सेकेंड पेपर है इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल इश्यूज, फर्स्ट आई होप यू हैव अ वेरी गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग के वो वाला पेपर आपका इट्स मोर डायनेमिक, इट्स मोर बेस्ड अपॉन करंट अफेयर्स. देयर आर नॉट मेनी क्वेश्चंस आज बेस्ड अपॉन स्टैटिक नॉलेज. सो जो भी बुक्स मैं ESI के लिए सजेस्ट करने वाला हूं, प्लीज डू नॉट इन्वेस्ट टू मच टाइम इन देम. Try to learn the basics and then move on to current affairs because that is the most important part. Economics के लिए Indian Economy by Ramesh Singh is a good book, right? Mainly used by UPSC aspirants, but it's equally good to understand the concepts for RBI Grade B. Majorly, I think I would suggest to read chapters such as inflation, monetary policy, fiscal policy, growth and development, and balance of payment from this book because that is something which is core of economics. और उसके बाद अगर सोशल इश्यूज की बात करूं तो सोशल इश्यूज इज नो अ वेरी basic subject. You read topics like poverty, health, education, malnutrition, urbanization, migration. So उसके लिए social problems in India by Ram Ahuja, again used by UPSC aspirants. You can give it a very quick read, just like you are reading some essays or a novel. It is not technical. तो आप इसको जल्दी से पढ़ लीजिएगा. Do not invest too much time on these two books. As I've told you, these are static and exam is dynamic. After reading this, you need to move on to the current affairs part, which is very, very important. 75%, almost 75% weightage in ESI is of current affairs. तो current affairs में क्या पढ़ना चाहिए सर? I would suggest you two sources. One is Hindu and the second is PIB. These are the two best sources to cover current affairs for economic and social issues. Whether it is related to reports or whether it is related to schemes or whether it is related to any other news related to economics or social issues, these two sources are the best sources. Hindu and PIB, but trust me, if you try to make your own notes by reading these sources, it is going to be really cumbersome, and it would be too time consuming that you will not be able to concentrate on anything, and you will not be able to carry this initiative if you start making notes till the D-day of your exam. तो इसमें मत जाइएगा. I would suggest you to read some compiled magazines जहाँ से आपको सारी reports, schemes मिल जाएं. And choose the compiled magazines carefully because the magazines which are meant for banking exams such as SBI PO or IBPS PO or clerical exams, they are mainly concentrated on normal GA. They do not focus on reports and schemes. And whereas UPSC magazines, though they cover reports and schemes, but they cover it from a conceptual angle and not from factual angle, which is more important for RBI Grade B. ठीक है, तो ये सारी बुक्स हो गई हैं आपकी फेज 2 के लिए. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट डिस्क्रिप्टिव इंग्लिश, आई कैन नॉट रिकमेंड यू एनी बुक फॉर डिस्क्रिप्टिव इंग्लिश. आई वुड सजेस्ट you keep practicing, read editorials in the newspaper, keep practicing by writing those editorials in your own words, either as an essay or a précis. That is the best way. If you're really bad in vocabulary, then there is a book, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis, on your screen right now. You can use this book. This is a good book. This is a good book to help you increase your vocabulary. ठीक है. बाकी do read editorials on regular basis from Hindu and from One Business News newspaper, maybe Live Mint or Economic Times. It will help you build good perspective, which can help you in writing some really good descriptive answers. Now coming on to phase 1, guys. Phase 1 का काफी लोगों को पता ही होता है. For quant, there is a book called by Arun Sharma on quant, which is mainly used by CAT aspirants, MBA aspirants, but I think this is equally good for RBI. There are 3 level questions in this book after every chapter: level 1, level 2, level 3. I would suggest you to go till level 2 only. Level 3 is really difficult. ठीक है, अगर हो पाए तभी करिएगा, नहीं छोड़ दीजिएगा. For verbal and non-verbal reasoning, I have a very old version, बहुत पुरानी है ये. मैंने अपने टाइम पे भी यूज़ की थी बाय R.S. Agarwal, right? So you can use this book, but one caution that you need to take care is that this book is meant for any exam. SSC, Railways, UPSC, CAT, RBI. So what they have done is they have included every possible topic in this book. So please, as I told you at the start, be selective. Just go through the previous year papers of RBI Grade B and see what all types of questions are coming in reasoning and do only those topics from these book. Right? Do not try to do all the topics. That would be a time wastage. And for English for phase 1, again, I mean, I cannot suggest you any book. I think practice as many mock tests as you want and do some reading for editorials that will help you improve your English, which can help you, perform good in error detection or error finding. आपको comprehension भी better होगा, but I am not suggesting you any book to learn the grammar at this stage. वो नहीं होगा अभी, वो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा. ठीक है. And for current affairs for phase 1, for normal current affairs like sports, awards, important days and themes, or science and tech, defense, etc., you can read any magazine or current affairs. Now most of the magazines contain these news, but in phase 1 also they do ask reports and schemes, for which I told you that the best way is to cover them from Hindu and PIB, but it would be impossible to make notes. So use some compiled magazine and do not rely on UPSC magazines, because they cover things from conceptual perspective, not from factual perspective. ठीक है, तो ये सारे sources हैं आपके. I hope आपको थोड़ा clarity मिला होगा that how you need to use the sources and which sources needs to be skipped altogether. That's a very important point that you should understand from this video. So do let me know if you have any doubt after watching this video. If you need any guidance, as in if you are using any other source and you want a commentary on that, we will be ready to help you out. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.